Got the little heater plugged in. I'm all bathrobed up, as you can see. But I did get a nice little package in the mail today from compliments of no other than Burnout Inc. Sent me this Nakamura figure, Defining Moments. In my last live stream, I had mentioned that I didn't have one, and he's like, well, I got an extra one. I'll send it to you for your birthday, which was October 11th. So, you'll see here, also attached, the NXT Championship, as I hold it upside down. The NXT Championship, which is cool. Actually, I have one I think that came with Kevin Owens, so it'll be nice to have another one that I can put on somebody else. Who, you may ask? Why, possibly Sami Zayn. The man threw in Sami Zayn so I could commemorate the first match that Nakamura had here in, I was going to say WWE, but I guess it's technically NXT. But no package would be complete from that guy with the gloves. But he threw in a pair of gloves. Yes, sir, some Batman gloves. I am not that guy with the gloves, but I'm now a guy with the gloves. I don't know if Burnout Inc. has like a special term for his viewers on YouTube. Like Hulk Hogan has Hulkamaniacs. I don't know. Maybe he has like Glovomaniacs. That sounds dumb. I don't know. He can let me know. But yeah, definitely going to be excited to put these guys into my collection. Big thanks. Big shout out. Burnout Inc. Always a supporter of the channel. A cool dude to talk to. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, I suggest you do so. Follow him on Instagram. He's always doing, I don't know, all different videos. He does reviews, he does animation, he does live streams of like some of the video games and stuff he's playing. It's a good time. He's a good man. A couple new things since the start of the year. Storm Collectibles came out with Reptile, and I'm really liking the reptile head on this guy. He also has the long tongue that you can attach into this head so that you can do like the fatality. Looks great, and he obviously also includes the ninja head with the masks, as you see on the box right there. Then we got Kurt Angle, Entrance Greats figure. Definitely a really cool figure, especially for Angle's first WWE Mattel figure. I'm glad they went with his debut attire, well, his TV debut attire. I've always liked the look of this singlet, and I would love to see them do more of Angle from this time, as well as obviously like the more current ones where he's like bald and has like the shoes instead of the boots and all that kind of stuff. But I would love to see them redo like the Titantron Series 12, I think it was, in a white singlet. If they did that, that'd be a wrap for me. I would love it. And finally, picked up, or I should say that my lovely young lady got for me, this Yokozuna and Kurt Angle, now that I'm thinking of it. Damn, I'm a spoiled man. But the Yokozuna is from the, what do you call it, the Walmart wave. And I like the look, man. I like the attire being black with red underneath. So if you have the original Yokozuna with the reverse colors, basically, you can still get this one and get something different out of it. The only Yoko I have is the white and black one with the beard and the long ponytail instead of like the knot, like samurai sumo type hair. I actually like that head sculpt a lot better than this one, but I like this attire. So, and obviously the robe looks awesome too. So I'm glad I picked this stuff up. Messing around a little bit in the lab. So I've had a couple of people, ever since the JWF Holiday Show was posted, ask, what is Super Tiger Pro Wrestling? Well, basically, it's my equivalent to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So think of JWF as like WWE. Super Tiger is New Japan. That was basically my thought process when I decided, you know, I got so many figures that I don't get to animate with, and I don't really use them in JWF. So, you know, for example, you know, Hall and Ash, Hogan, all these guys, I'm like, let's just put them in Japan, screw it. That way I can do a cross-promotional show. So, for example, we're going to have a 6-man tag. You got JWF guys, Kane, Jericho, and Mankind, against Hall, Nash, and Hogan. Just, I don't know, kind of a cool excuse to use different figures that I don't really ever get to use. And if you saw the teaser in JWF Holiday Show, you already know a couple of things you can expect to see. A couple of cross-promotional matches. I think they'll be fun. So that's the basic answer. If anybody asks, you know, what is Super Tiger? What's the deal with that? As for like when it's coming out, I don't know. It's going to be done kind of like in match recap style. I'm not sure if I'm going to recap all the matches and do like one long video, or if I'm going to recap shorter, like each match gets its own short recap video and then release them that way. What do you think, actually? What would you rather see? Would you rather see like multiple videos with like one match apiece, like recapped, like, I don't know, 1 to 2 minute videos? Or would you rather wait to see the whole thing? Actually, you know what? I might just answer my own question. And yes, I'm just talking excessively here, but think about it. Follow me. if I did them in short segments like that, and then I just compiled them all together and released one long video, the way I've been doing with like JWF pay-per-views, the way I've been doing with like, I don't know, like Godzilla Aftermath, same kind of concept as that, where I release parts and then the sum of the parts get one long video when it's done. So yeah, I've already talked at too great a length about this, and you've been staring at the same figures for however long I've been talking. You ever have the kind of day where you just want to simultaneously love and hate yourself? The old Deadpool wave. These new ones just came out a month or so ago. Found them on GameStop. They're having one of their sales where anything you shoved into a bag was 25% off. And the girl behind the counter kind of let me in on a secret that you really just have to buy the bag for like $6 or $8, whatever it is. You don't actually have to put them in the bag, because otherwise there's no way this was going to work. But yeah. So here we go. Deadpool wave all out of packages. I gotta say, I'm impressed. There's a few of these figures that I really wasn't all that thrilled about when I first saw the wave, and I expected, honestly, to pass on a couple of them, but then I saw the whole wave in hand. I was like, alright, these aren't bad. And now that I've had the chance to mess with them a little bit, not too bad at all. Here's the X-Force Deadpool, which I believe is pretty much the same as that HasCon exclusive one that came out not too long ago, like last year, I believe, with some different guns. Like, he's got blue pistol and rifle this time around. Not sure what that's all about, but whatever. If you have the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool, this is basically the same figure. I think his wrist and his leg, like ankle pieces are different, because that figure had like kind of gauntlets and like boots on. But I really like this look for Deadpool. I've always liked the X-Force costume on him, so I'm happy to have an upgraded figure. Here's a 90s Deadpool, and this one I really like the articulation on a lot. I don't know if this is the Sunfire body or it might be the Spider-Man 2099 body, I'm not 100% sure. Or was that Spider-Man UK? I can't remember. Whichever one had all the crazy articulation. But yeah, the posability on this guy is great. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with very many weapons, but I mean, by now you're probably going to have enough Marvel Legends weapons to be able to equip him how you see fit. And I do like the 90s aesthetic on him. Like, it's straight out of the pages of X-Force from the 90s. And honestly, that's kind of still what I think of to this day when I think of Deadpool. So this guy will be probably my go-to Deadpool for, like, my display. Moving on to Deathlock here. This is one of the figures that I was originally going to pass on, because I don't really know much about Deathlock. But after messing with the figure a little bit, I do like the sculpt. I like his giant gun. Got a whole strip of bullets here. The only figure I ever had of Deathlock before was like the old Toy Biz one, where like you can pull up his little head plate thing right there and see his brain. But yeah, I mean, overall he's not a bad figure, and I'm not sure. I believe he had ties with X-Force maybe, I don't know, several years ago. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's probably why they were able to work him into this wave and have it make some kind of sense. And now I'm going to have a hard time getting him to stand because of that giant gun. Yeah, not too bad. Domino's a figure I've wanted for a long time, and they've only made, I think, one. They came in a 2-pack with Cannonball, if I'm not mistaken. But this is, yeah, just a classic-looking Domino. Not too much to write home about here. It's a basic enough design, but there's enough, like, let's see if I can show you. Now, again, kind of like the X-Force Deadpool, she's got purple guns instead of, like, regular colored ones. Not 100% sure why they did that, but the belt looks cool. Her little harness thing is a good add-on. The boots and everything, I like the design. I think they did a pretty good job with her. The one thing I'm not 100% sure why they did is, like, if you can see her hairstyle here is, like, short, so you can kind of see, I don't know, when you have her head forced all the way down, it's kind of tough to tell from the lighting and everything, but you can kind of see, like, the ball peg on the inside like that. That could have been fixed if they just made her hair a little bit longer, I think, so that could be something that I could work on just to make her hair a little bit longer. I could swap the hair piece out with something, I don't know, something to think about. The big man Sasquatch, we'll come back to him. Here's the standout figure for me, Cable, the 90s version. And this is a lot of the same parts from the Juggernaut Wave Cable, as far as I can tell. It looks like the legs are the same, and like the body might be. Got like that tank thing around his neck. He's got like the earpiece in, the glowing eye. awesome figure. There's a lot of size to him, a lot of mass, so like he's definitely like the heftiest figure in the line. Got a couple different guns there. You got this smaller pistol, kind of the medium range, and then you got the big boy on his back. I'm really impressed with Cable. I like it better than the Juggernaut Wave one. Aesthetically, design-wise, I think this might be probably the best Cable they've ever made. I still like the colors on the Toy Biz one, because that's just kind of my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Cable. But, I don't know, this is, overall, I'm going to say that this is the best Cable figure they've ever made. So, good on you, Legends. I like it. Then we move on to Paladin here, who, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I know nothing about this guy. I bought him because he came with like Sasquatch's like leg or arm or something. And, I mean, he's a cool looking character. I get the impression from reading the card that he's just some kind of an assassin. Not 100% sure. So, if you know who this guy is, let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to study up on him a little bit and read what I can. But figure-wise, he's cool. He's unique enough. He's not just like another Bucky Cap figure. He's got like a, you can probably see it's like textured like body armor vest that I think looks really cool. We got some design on it. The boots look cool. Yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit of different things going on with his costume. The knee pads and the legs are an interesting mold. Two little guns, gold ones. I'm trying to think. I believe I've seen this gun before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I can't remember. But this gun looks like it might have come with somebody else before. Maybe like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent or something. Can't remember. And last but not least, certainly not least, X-23. She, in my estimation, is the sleeper hit of this line. Because I really like the sculpt on her. The face, I mean, you get just the right amount of her being pissed off and like kind of a windswept hair look. I love the paint on the mask with the red eyes and everything like the X-Force characters all wore at that point with the gray and black. It looks like they use the same claws that they've been giving Wolverine, so that's cool to see. I like that the belt is a separate piece also, so, you know, depending on how you want her posed, you can kind of like exaggerate like her hip positions if you want. What this one doesn't have, well, what she does have is like these cool boots with the strap designs. I'm trying to think if, did they use these on that one Nico Minoru figure? I think that's her name, from Doctor Strange. I can't remember. But what she doesn't have is the toe claws. But I'm wondering if the Toy Biz figure, if I would be able to like swap those feet onto this if I wanted to use the toe claws. I don't know, now I'm just brainstorming out loud. But yeah, this figure here, I really like it. 100% better than that Toy Biz one that we got many, many years ago in the Apocalypse Wave. Speaking of Apocalypse Wave, we're going to get a new Apocalypse Wave, I think, before the end of the year, so that should be cool to see. But yeah, let's move on to Sasquatch. So here's the big man, Sasquatch. You know, when I first figured out that we were going to get a Sasquatch Build-a-figure, I was kind of like, alright, fine, whatever. Not one of those characters I really cared about. And then when I saw people posting pictures of him, I was still kind of just like, I guess he's fine. But now that I've built him, yeah, I'm convinced. I see it. He's a really good figure. He's got a nice weight to him. The sculpt and the paint detailing and stuff, and the arms and the legs in the fur, I like it. But yeah, it's a great sculpt. Some really good paint apps. Good size to him. It's a good contender for Build-A-Figure. I know there were some people that were saying they want to see this body reused for Beast. But, I don't know. I think this would be a bit too large for Beast. Like, in my estimation, I think even the Toy Biz figure of Beast is a little too large. Like, at the very least, I should say at the very most, Beast I would assume would be like about Cable size if you were to make a figure of him, a new figure. So I think Sasquatch would be a bit big for that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and my ramblings. Overall, this is a solid wave. I really like it, and if you see it, I suggest you pick it up. The Too Long Didn't Read version. Happy to have an updated X-Force Deadpool. Favorite figure in the line is Cable, thus far. Sleeper hit, X-23. Awesome. Love his articulation on the 90s Deadpool. And Sasquatch. Surprisingly satisfying Build-A-Figure that I did not think I was going to like, but turns out I really do. Great wave. So you got the wave over there. You can see that I've been in transit doing the JWF versus Super Tiger stuff. Had a chance to work on a little bit of that recently. You may ask yourself, what else have I been up to? Well, the honest answer is not a whole lot else. It's been kind of busy lately. The past couple of months have been kind of a whirlwind, if I'm honest. You know, just life, throwing life stuff at you. But, little by little, I've been building small things here and there. So here, we got a couple of samples for new buildings that I would like to use in the future for Godzilla projects. Now this, I've shown this piece before. like just this tall storage container. And I added a bit to the bottom. This is the 616 Entertainment building. I gave them a revamp after what happened with Mothra and Rodan in their original building there in Godzilla Aftermath. So I figured, yeah, you know, these guys, they need a new building. And in this one, I'm really happy with this one. This is just kind of one that I put together, just, I don't know, out of a bunch of scrap parts. And it's just, I don't know, I like how it came out. Got a little bit of detailing on there too, which is nice. You'll see, obviously, the bottoms, I left them open and hollow, so that way I could illuminate them from the inside if I want to shoot. That actually on the inside, behind the grid stuff there, yeah, there it is on the bottom too. That's just tracing paper. I cut it to size and put it in there. The reason I use that is because when you light it up from the inside, the tracing paper will help catch the light. And with this, you may recall from the old video, like this is kind of a, it's not really clear, it's more of a translucent, kind of like foggy plastic. So the light actually catches really good on that. So here's just a brief example of what I'm talking about with them being lit up. I think they really capture the light nicely, and it gives kind of a cool illuminated effect. Right now, that's just like a tap light underneath that one. And this, I got a flashlight. But I'd like to make, I probably mentioned this at one point or another, but I'd like to make like kind of a whole city like base for Godzilla figures and have a bunch of different buildings like these that I could put, you know, just wherever I want, so that if I'm, you know, making an animation or whatever, I can kind of put them where I want them to be. And before I forget, scale-wise, here's the 2014, let me put this back on, NECA Godzilla. So there you go. You get a pretty good impression of scale, how he looks next to these buildings and how your Godzilla figures would look. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. I want to make a couple smaller ones too that I can kind of put in the foreground so that you could have Godzilla like towering over some buildings while you also have other buildings in the background that are just larger than he is. But yeah, kind of a couple just works in progress. As I mentioned, I haven't really been that productive as far as like building things or even really making videos. I mean, I made the Batman figure retrospective, which I'm really happy with, and thank you all for watching. But besides Super Tiger, I haven't really done much. I do apologize for my lack of output, but hopefully I'll be able to make up for it at some point in the future. I want to try a couple different things on the channel. We'll talk about some of that in a little bit. So I see YouTube went and changed its layout again. Awesome. Not really. I like the old layout better. But yeah. Looks like 700 or so people have watched my Batman figure retrospective, so thank you for that. That was kind of a personal passion project for me. I was happy to be able to make that a reality. It was fun playing with those old Batman figures again. Something I wanted to ask, because I uploaded this video, and it's not public yet, but I was just kind of curious. There have been people that have asked about the music that I use in my videos, and like the stuff that I make kind of in-house to go with it. And this is like just one of the tracks. You'll recognize this. I'll drop the volume on it. You'll recognize this as King Ghidorah's theme from Godzilla Aftermath, and it was originally in the Nintendo game Monster of Monsters. But yeah, it's just kind of like a brief music video, basically. Like it shows a couple of clips from the stop motion that it was in, and it then it just kind of fades into like a still image and plays the rest of the track. So I don't know, just for those people who have been interested in some of the music that shows up in my videos, like, would you be interested in me posting like more stuff like this? I know it's not really something that like a lot of my regular viewers might be interested in, but there are people who have asked, so I guess if people will watch it, I'll put more videos like that up. Anyway, let me know. Just another day in the life, huh? Yeah, busy day, huh? I see that. So, picked up this bad boy, Elgato Game Capture. Burnout Inc. actually put me in the right direction of which one to get for some of the stuff I want to try out. Streamed the other night, kind of a trial run, see if I could stream some of these, excuse the mess by the way, some of these old school games, but we played Batman for Sega Genesis the other night. As you can see, this is a very, very used copy, but the game works fine. I had some fun playing it. I hadn't played it in years up to that point, really. Like, I think when I bought this, I played it a little bit just to make sure the game worked. And then, you know, the other night was the first time I really played it the whole way through, and God, since I was a little kid. So it was a lot of fun going back. A couple other games I want to try out here. We got X-Men for Sega, the classic. I don't even know some of these. Jurassic Park. Sonic Spinball wasn't very good. Spider-Man and the X-Men was also not very good. And then I think this is just Sonic 1 and 2 and another copy of the Spinball game. But the Retron is cool because you can stream Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo as well. So I want to start doing a little bit of that, maybe, I don't know, once or twice a month, get a stream going. Maybe even more frequently than that. I don't know, if people watch it, I'll keep doing it. I could stream like N64 or like PS2 or PS4 or whatever the case. So, little side note here. These are Mountain Men's Dragon Ball Z Super Famicom games, which is the Japanese Super Nintendo. The Retron people, they made a Retron 5 that they advertise. You can play Super Famicom and regular Famicom and all this other stuff too, in addition to like NES, SNES, and all that. What they don't want you to know is that these work on that. But if they don't tell you that that plays them too, then that means they can upsell you on the newer model for an extra $50 or whatever it is and get you to play these on that. But you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. These work on that. All right. A couple of these Lego sets. I've been meaning to show these off for a long time, but just never got around to it, I guess. So sometime last year, me and the young lady decided just, you know, as fun little projects to do on the weekends to put together some Lego sets. And the first one I bought was the AT-ST walker there. And I had fun putting it together, and we enjoyed it. And we figured out, oh wait, they make a Millennium Falcon? And I'm like, of course they make a Millennium Falcon, why wouldn't they? And come to find out, they've actually made probably like 10, but this was the one that was in stores at that point, the Force Awakens one. And, you know, the young lady's just like, I want to buy that. I'm like, well, just knock yourself out. I didn't think she was serious, but next thing I know, we go to the store and there's a Millennium Falcon in her hands. So that was a nice project, a couple days worth of work, but I like how it came together. Some of these Lego sets are pretty elaborate here. I don't know if I'll be able to show you with the lighting in the way and everything, but yeah, some of these things are pretty crazy. Like, you can fold up the entire like inside, and you've got, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you got the entire interior of the Millennium Falcon. You know, you can get somebody in there in the gunning station and all this other stuff. I don't know, just lots of cool little things that you know, Lego incorporated into their stuff. So I dig it. Got this little set too, just to get a couple of stormtroopers and whatever. Got the land speeder here. Bought this mad long ago, just never put it together yet. That's kind of a project, just waiting for a day where we're bored, I guess. But yeah, these things are fun, I gotta tell you. Like, I used to be a big Lego collector when I was a kid, but it's been years and years since I really like put anything together. So doing this stuff again, it's kind of a throwback. It's fun. I remember back in the old days, they didn't have Star Wars Legos. That was like kind of an invention of the last maybe 15 years or so. So I was that kid who was trying to make his own Star Wars Legos out of whatever scrap parts I had. And they, you know, without taking credit away from a younger version of myself, they definitely didn't come out this good. So good on you, Lego.
That's crispy.